The Hollywood Blacklist refers to a period during the late 1940s and 1950s when actors, writers, directors, and other entertainment professionals were barred from working in the industry due to their alleged associations with communism or left-wing political views. However, there have been many other instances throughout history where actors were banned or blacklisted from Hollywood for a variety of shocking reasons, ranging from criminal activity to controversial personal behavior. Here are 10 actors who were blacklisted or banned from Hollywood for reasons that made headlines. Charlie Chaplin, reason, accusations of communist sympathies, story. Charlie Chaplin, one of Hollywood's most iconic figures, became a target during the Red Scare of the 1940s and 1950s. His political activism, including support for leftist causes, led to accusations of communist sympathies. As the U.S. government heightened its scrutiny of suspected communists, Chaplin's views made him a prime target. In 1952, while traveling in Europe, he was denied re-entry to the United States, with officials citing his controversial political beliefs. Faced with this, Chaplin decided to settle in Switzerland, effectively exiling himself from Hollywood. Despite his immense popularity as a filmmaker and actor, Chaplin's stance against U.S. government policies and his outspoken views on social issues contributed to his fall from favor. His situation highlighted the severe impact of the Red Scare on the careers of many in Hollywood, and while Chaplin never fully regained his former standing in the U.S., he continued to work and was eventually honored in Europe and other parts of the world. Judy Garland, reason, personal struggles and erratic behavior, story. Judy Garland's career was deeply affected by a combination of personal issues, including substance abuse, mental health struggles, and tumultuous relationships. While she was never formally blacklisted from Hollywood, her erratic behavior on set and her ongoing battle with addiction led to significant professional challenges. Garland often faced difficulties completing films on time due to her personal issues, causing frustration among studio executives. As a result, she was occasionally shunned by certain Hollywood circles, and her reputation suffered. Despite these obstacles, Garland remained one of the most beloved stars of her time. Known for her remarkable talent and iconic performances, such as in The Wizard of Oz. Her career ultimately saw a resurgence through live performances and television appearances, and she became a symbol of resilience. Garland's struggles, however, highlighted the darker side of Hollywood's pressures on its stars, especially those grappling with addiction and personal demons. Martha Stewart, reason, conviction for insider trading, story. In 2001, Martha Stewart, the lifestyle and business mogul, was convicted of charges related to insider trading. She sold her stock in the biotech company ImClone just before its value plummeted, leading to an investigation. Stewart was sentenced to 5 months in prison, 5 months of home confinement, and 2 years of probation. The scandal and conviction sent shockwaves through her empire, and many speculated it would mark the end of her career. However, Stewart proved resilient. Upon her release, she focused on rebuilding her brand and continued to maintain a strong presence in media, publishing, and product lines. Her savvy business acumen and ability to reinvent herself allowed her to not only recover but thrive in the years that followed. Today, Martha Stewart remains a major cultural and business figure, showing how a scandal, though damaging, can be overcome with determination and a strong brand identity. Jean Muir was the first actress to be blacklisted during the Red Scare era in the early 1950s. Her career took a serious hit in 1950 after her name appeared in Red Channels, a pamphlet that accused entertainment industry professionals of having communist ties. Though there was no evidence she was involved with the Communist Party, the mere mention of her name was enough to cause significant damage. At the time, fear of communist influence in Hollywood was intense, and even unsubstantiated accusations could lead to a total career shutdown. Muir lost her acting roles almost immediately and was effectively banned from working in film and television. As a result, she was forced to step away from the industry entirely and turn to teaching drama as a new career path. Her story is one of many from that era, where careers were ruined not by actual political actions, but by suspicion and fear. Jean Muir's experience remains a notable example of how the Red Scare affected the lives of many innocent professionals in Hollywood. John Garfield was a talented and widely respected actor during Hollywood's golden age, known for his intense performances in films such as Body and Soul and The Postman Always Rings Twice. At the height of his career, however, he became entangled in the political paranoia of the early 1950s. In 1951, he was summoned to testify before the House Un-American Activities Committee, WAC, which was investigating alleged communist influence in the film industry. Garfield refused to name names or implicate others, insisting he had no involvement with the Communist Party. Despite this, his refusal to cooperate was seen as defiance, and he was blacklisted by major studios. As a result, his career quickly deteriorated, offers dried up, and his reputation suffered. He struggled to find work in film and turned to theater, but the pressure of being blacklisted took a serious toll. Garfield died suddenly of a heart attack in 1952 at just 39 years old. His story remains a tragic example of how political fear and suspicion destroyed careers and lives during the Hollywood Blacklist era. Orson Bean was a popular actor, comedian, and television personality in the 1950s and beyond, known for his sharp wit and frequent appearances on game shows and talk shows. However, during the height of the Red Scare, Bean found himself blacklisted in Hollywood, not because of his own political actions, but because he had once attended meetings with a woman later revealed to be a Communist Party member. Though he never joined the party himself, mere association was enough to attract suspicion. As a result, Bean was unofficially banned from several major platforms, most notably The Ed Sullivan Show, where he had previously been a regular guest. This restriction significantly limited his exposure and career opportunities during that time. Despite the setback, Bean managed to continue working, mostly in smaller roles or less visible venues, and eventually revived his career in later years. His experience highlights how loosely the blacklist could be applied and how damaging even indirect connections to communism were considered in mid-century Hollywood. Orson Bean's story is a reminder of how fear and guilt by association shaped the entertainment industry during the Cold War. Lionel Stander was a distinctive actor known for his gruff voice and tough guy persona, often cast in comedic or working-class roles. A founding member of the Screen Actors Guild, he was outspoken in his political beliefs and strongly supported labor rights and leftist causes. In the late 1940s, during the rise of anti-communist sentiment in the U.S., Stander was called before the House Un-American Activities Committee, WAC. He refused to cooperate or name names, openly challenging the legitimacy of the hearings. As a result, he was blacklisted from Hollywood, with studios refusing to hire him due to his defiance and political stance. Unable to find work in the American film industry, Stander moved to Europe, where he successfully continued his acting career in international films throughout the 1950s and early 1960s. He eventually returned to the U.S. and enjoyed a career resurgence, most notably playing the role of Max on the popular television series Heart to Heart in the 1980s. Stander's story illustrates how political conviction came at a high cost, but also how resilience and talent could ultimately lead to redemption. Kevin Spacey was once one of Hollywood's most acclaimed actors, winning 2 Academy Awards and earning widespread praise for his roles in American Beauty, The Usual Suspects, and as Frank Underwood in Netflix's hit series House of Cards. However, in 2017, his career came to a halt after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct surfaced, beginning with actor Anthony Rapp, who accused Spacey of making an unwanted sexual advance when Rapp was just 14. More accusations followed, leading to an industry-wide backlash. Netflix immediately cut ties with Spacey, writing him out of House of Cards, and director Ridley Scott famously removed him from All the Money in the World, reshooting his scenes with Christopher Plummer just weeks before the film's release. Spacey's reputation was severely damaged, and he effectively disappeared from mainstream Hollywood. Although he has attempted a slow return to acting with minor roles in European productions, he remains largely blacklisted from major studios and streaming platforms. Spacey's fall from grace is one of the most dramatic in recent Hollywood history and reflects the entertainment industry's shifting stance on accountability and misconduct. Susan Sarandon, an Academy Award-winning actress known for her roles in Dead Man Walking and Thelma Louise, has long been outspoken on political and social issues. In 2023, she claimed to have been blacklisted by parts of the entertainment industry following controversial remarks made during a pro-Palestine rally. At the event, Sarandon criticized U.S. foreign policy and expressed solidarity with Palestinians, comments that sparked immediate backlash. Her talent agency dropped her shortly after the incident, and reports indicated that several projects she was involved with were either delayed or cancelled. While she did not face an official blacklist, the reaction from the industry suggested a form of soft blacklisting, where opportunities are quietly withdrawn rather than formally denied. Despite the controversy, Sarandon has continued to work, primarily in independent films and activist circles. Her case highlights the ongoing tension in Hollywood between personal expression and public perception, as well as the potential professional risks actors face when taking strong political stances in an increasingly polarized cultural landscape. Sarandon remains defiant, continuing to speak out on causes she supports. Charlie Sheen was once one of the highest-paid actors on television, best known for his role as Charlie Harper on the hit sitcom 2.5 Men. However, in 2011, his career took a sharp downturn after a highly publicized breakdown and falling out with the show's creator, Chuck Lorre. Sheen made a series of bizarre and erratic public appearances, during which he criticized the show's producers, coined the infamous phrase winning, and claimed he had tiger blood. His behavior, combined with a history of substance abuse and legal troubles, led to him being fired from the show despite its massive success. Following his departure, Sheen attempted a comeback with the FX series Anger Management. But it failed to match the popularity or critical acclaim of his previous work. Since then, his appearances in film and television have been rare, and he has largely been sidelined in Hollywood. While not officially blacklisted, Sheen's public image and professional relationships were severely damaged, making him a cautionary tale of how personal conduct can abruptly derail even the most successful careers in the entertainment industry. Gina Carano, a former MMA fighter turned actress, gained widespread fame for her role as Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, a popular Star Wars series on Disney. However, her career faced a major setback in 2021 when she was fired from the show due to controversial social media posts. Carano had shared content that many viewed as politically inflammatory, including comparisons of political divisions in the US to Nazi Germany. Her posts sparked intense backlash online and led Disney and Lucasfilm to sever ties with her, citing that her comments were abhorrent and unacceptable. This move ignited a broader debate over free speech, cancel culture, and the boundaries of personal expression in Hollywood. Supporters argued Carano was unfairly targeted for her conservative views, while critics maintained that public figures must be accountable for harmful rhetoric. Following her departure, Carano partnered with the Daily Wire to produce and star in new film projects, reflecting her commitment to continuing her career outside traditional Hollywood circles. Her case remains one of the most talked about examples of Hollywood's evolving relationship with public controversy. Robert Blake was a successful actor best known for his Emmy-winning role in the 1970s television series Baretta. However, his career came to a halt in the early 2000s following the shocking murder of his wife, Bonnie Lee Backley, in 2001. Blake was arrested and charged with her murder, with prosecutors alleging that he conspired to have her killed. The case drew national attention due to its dramatic twists and Blake's celebrity status. In 2005, after a highly publicized trial, Blake was acquitted of the criminal charges due to a lack of physical evidence directly linking him to the crime. However, that same year, he was found liable for Backley's death in a civil wrongful death lawsuit filed by her children and was ordered to pay $30 million in damages, later reduced. The case severely tarnished his public image, and although acquitted criminally, the stigma remained. Blake never returned to acting and lived the remainder of his life largely out of the spotlight. His legacy remains overshadowed by the controversy, making him one of Hollywood's most infamous cautionary tales.